Just over a week after it was completed, someone has defaced the Black Lives Matter mural on Indiana Avenue. Police believe it happened overnight.
To clean up a newly painted mural in downtown Orlando after it was targeted by vandals. The mural supports the protest.
The charge as more than 100 people marched and rallied around the newly repainted Black Lives Matter mural.
We created this mural to cause conversation. The conversation really did start.
I think a lot of us who are Black, but yet still privileged somehow by our close proximity to institutions, access to resources, socioeconomic status, a lot of times we take up a lot of space in the conversation, and sometimes that can overshadow like the purposes of why we really do what we do, and really uplifting the people who are closest to the issues that we say we serve. And so I wanted just to make space for that with this project. And I think that's really the key to a lot of these things. I don't always have answers, but I think all of us together definitely do. And it's also my belief to go to where it's not working to find solutions for how to fix it. And so I think if you uplift the people and make a platform for the people who are experiencing the issues, they have the creative intelligence for the solution.
I'm Molly Jeffers. I'm from Indianapolis, and I'm a cultural entrepreneur who's co-founded a venture studio and creative agency for cultural entrepreneurs.
My name is Alan Bacon, also from Indianapolis, born and raised, and co-founder for a venture studio and creative agency that helps support the cultural environment and creative ecosystem.
Molly and Alan actually were on the circle, the monument at one point, and we were standing there and I was kind of holding it up and chanting, and they came by and they said, "Did you paint that?" And I was like, "Yes," and they tried to actually purchase it from me. They were like, "How much can I, how much do you want for it?"
And we was like, "Hey, we want to buy that." He said, "It's not for sale."
I was like, "Are you sure?"
And I told him at the time I wasn't selling it because I was still using it to spread my message. It was part of my activism.
Yeah,
Well, let me get your information.
Yeah, we exchanged information and found him on Instagram, and it just kind of kept in touch.
But then when the street mural came on Indiana Avenue, I knew I wanted to be a part of that. All historically significant, but the simple fact that we're on Indiana Avenue, and the first thing that I could think of with police brutality or the varying stories was the Michael Taylor story, because Michael Taylor and I are about the same age, if not the same age. It happened during my teenage years. So for me, it resonated and kind of held to me like the Emmett Till story. And now we see that systematically the same things are still happening over the course of time. And it actually shows that Black Lives Matter is really a relevant statement.
I don't feel like I have to paint like what society expects me to paint just because I'm a mixed woman. I have to paint Black identity stuff. I paint whatever I'm feeling, and it may be sometimes tied up with my Black identity, but it really is just I'm a human, and I like to express myself through art and bright colors and flowers and feminine things like that. So
when people walk by, I want them to stop and ask why. I always try to get to the why, no matter what it is, and I feel like my art does that. It sparks why. Art brings people together. I want to meet people where they are. I don't want to preach. I don't want to persuade one way or the other. I want to pull at your core so that you're asking why. And I go in with as pure heart as I can and pour in what I can to pull that out of people. So I feel that that's relevant now with everything going on. If everyone were to just stop and look in the mirror and ask why am I doing this? Why do I feel this way? And do some self-reflection and some self-work. It probably could help a lot of things that we have going on right now.
For me, it was more so about just being Black in America. Like, I have the eagle wings and, you know, an image of a Black man, but it's like, I want him to remember where he's from. That's why I have him with the spear and the beads and stuff around his neck, you know. But I wanted him to, like, honor his history, his ancestors, but also realize that, you know, the life he has to live here being in America, and it's not sweet. You know what I mean? Like, living here in America as a person of color, like, it's not all roses all the time.
The overall goal of the street mural, we know that a street mural is not going to cure racism. You know, that's not going to get rid of that. The purpose of the mural was to start conversation and to keep the conversation in, you know, the front of people's minds. It's to, you know, this communication between people to talk about these things, because that's ultimately how you're gonna, you know, that's how you solve things, is talking and learning and unlearning in some aspects.
To me, it's a perfect opportunity to rebuild in a way that we see, where we're centered, you know, and it's not one-sided, it's not biased to one particular race or whatever. And I think the art itself does not solve that problem, but I think it creates a space for us to have those conversations.
I don't think that painting Black Lives Matter on Indiana Avenue is going to change the world. But I do think that painting Black Lives Matter on Indiana has changed some individuals, because I know that I myself have changed because of it. You know, it's like when you have a garden and you're growing vegetables and you're out there picking and hustling and trying to make things work, and you're sweating and you're busting your butt. It's difficult work, but in the end, the harvest is a beautiful thing. So once we got through the day and once we got to the end, to see the product, how beautiful it was, how beautiful the people were, how many people from so many different backgrounds and so many different aspects of society were there to cheer us on and to support us, it meant a lot. We may not be changing a bill or writing a bill in Congress, but we're creating the conversations that lead to that.
But the city houses so much talent, and a lot of times we are overlooked, and it's not just about a movement for social justice. It's like us as artists saying, we are here, we have a voice, and we are a part of these changes that need to happen in our city, across the United States, globally.
I believe very much in being as in touch with our roots as possible. So recognizing my African heritage, recognizing my Native heritage, and recognizing that a lot of those were overlapped, and a lot of those traditions and themes were shared in completely different parts of the world, specifically drums, specifically the tribalness of music.
Arts will always be a focus for movements like these. I mean, when you think of Negro spirituals and during slavery, and Curtis Mayfield and Marvin Gaye and performing artists during the civil rights period in the 1960s and 70s, and today in 2020 is visual art that's taking a mainstay in this movement, just helping to ignite and accelerate change and conversations. So.
Like, this used to be one of the places where we could just be. We could just be us. We were safe here, we were included here, we were represented here.
I was thinking about kente cloth with the red and yellow and orange that I have going on in that area, and then the blue, the purpley bluish, and the green, and using those colors, that color palette, the cool, to unify things across the different sections of the E.
I would kind of try to convey the anger, the frustration, as it is the uncertainty that you feel as a black man in America. Because as we've seen, multiple black people have been killed for things that should be, you know, daily routine, like going for walks or just driving or just carrying on about their lives, and somehow they get tangled up with law enforcement and they lose their lives. That uncertainty, that confused feeling, that angry feeling, that feeling of hopelessness is what I try to convey in my art. And I hope that the viewers, when they, you know, look at it, I hope that they reflect, especially if there's someone of a different color, with a different background, with different privileges. I hope that my art allows them to reflect and maybe change if they don't have a positive attitude towards black people.